term that we love to throw around as a term of endearment, really, which is maximum autism. My stapler.
Wing length stapler because stapler, but I.
Did you want to say that one more time though, Paulie?
My stapler.
You got it, Swami?
Let's fucking go. The more negative X gets, the more bullish I get.
Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. I actually pulled a Uranus in mine.
Smoosh it.
It doesn't like smoosh it.
His pre-owned underwear.
He said they're vault eligible.
So you guys remember how I went to school for nuclear engineering? What you just described is a super critical situation. You've got a net profitable operating business. You've got a profitable investment arm of the business. You've got sound leadership and management.
So YOLO is what you're saying. Ryan Cohen fucking tweeted.
Taylor just replied to RC. He said a buying opportunity.
That's totally a Sailor thing to say. I want to caution people who are critical of his Bitcoin strategy. If you think he's not paying attention, then I think you got another thing coming. I would be shocked if Ryan Cohen had not bought recently.
$5 billion, it'll raise the cash per share to $30.
That's like the ingredient for a squeeze.
The bonds essentially are, if you're going to put it in terms of Roaring Kitties memes, they are the Game of Thrones, the Sept of Baelor.
It's a synthetic Paulie.
I swear Kenny just doesn't want Paulie talking on the show.
Can't stop the spirits when they need you.
Thanks everyone for checking out the show. I'm Sean Fitzy.
I'm Paulie.
I'm Swami.
As Bitcoin nears 120,000 and breaking into all-time highs, the demands for action and fumble analogies are getting louder. In response, Ryan Cohen has decided to sell his underwear. How's it going, guys?
Well, I'm not selling my underwear yet, so I think I'm all right.
Yeah. These are going good. Yeah, and Swami Sees is joining us again on the show. How are you, Swami? You good, bro?
Yeah, hey, great to be back. Yeah, I'm good. We just got back from vacation, and I was talking to one of my friends, and he was like, are you in that space where you need a vacation to recover from the vacation? And I said, absolutely, because I have three little kids, and we were at the beach. So, I'm basically, I was a pack mule all week. But yeah, it was a great time. Summer, vacation with the family. And of course, GameStop decides to do their big, move this week, auctioning off a stapler and Ryan Cohen's underwear while I'm at the beach, and no service. So they couldn't have picked a worse time. Thanks, RC.
You could be staring at waves and sand
yeah.
instead you're staring at staplers and underwear.
Well, that was the problem. I couldn't stare at staplers and underwear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm the beach dad is never fun. That'll be me in 3 weeks now. We're going to Maui, but mine aren't little like yours, so it's a lot better. I just got to avoid them I don't really like swimming in the ocean. I swam a lot when I was younger. I'm not a fan of it so much anymore. So that's cool, bro. Yeah, I saw some pictures. It looked like it was a really nice vacation. I think you picked a good week to or a couple weeks. I think you were gone, but to maybe not be so as engaged with Twitter because it's been a shit show. So that's nice too. So yeah, I'm glad you're back though. Yeah, I'm glad you had a good time. It's always nice to
GameStop
rest.
never sleeps, so.
All right. No, there's a meme. I think I adjusted it, but you're like sitting at your desk thinking about the beach, and then when you're at the beach, you're thinking about GameStop. Some version of that. You're like, I want to go on this vacation, and then as I'm on this vacation, all I can think that'll be me. We're gonna have to figure out how to do this show the right way. Cool. Well, yeah, glad you're back. We got some fun stuff we're gonna do. I said it before, but you're one of our meme movie experts. Yeah, there's a couple. Wally I think is on that list too. But we're gonna be trying to break down this meme movie. So we're gonna be doing this with you with us. So towards the end of the show, probably by the end of the show, we're gonna switch into attempting to break down Roaring Kitty's meme movie. So yeah, that should be fun. And then
can't wait.
It'll be fun.
Someone
been thinking about
it. We'll just go ahead and supply everyone with a pitchfork so that they can, just get ready to tell us exactly what they think of our opinions of the meme movie. So
yeah. Paulie, how are you doing, man? You had a good week?
For the most part, yeah. Although late last night we discovered that our septic tank was full, so that was fun. And of course, that happening on a weekend is not great timing. So had to go borrow someone else's shower today, and we have outfits here in town that can do, like emergency services on the weekend. But here's the problem: our tank does not have an exposed access point, so it would have to be dug up, and they will not do that without a utility locate first, and so they won't do that until Monday. So,
oh man,
yeah. So the last time this septic tank was serviced, which was before we ever moved in, was like 6 years ago, and yeah. So when they did that, they did not put a riser in, and so maybe that'll happen tomorrow. We'll see. It's not our property, so we'll see what happens. But the good news is it's not our problem to pay for it because it's not our property. But
that is good.
Yeah, so it's just been a little bit inconvenient because we're also like not using any of our water just so that we're not adding anything to the drain right now. So a little inconvenient, but other than that, it's been a pretty decent week, all things considered. So
yeah, we got our garbage people are on strike out here. Yeah, I didn't even know. Like, well, trash pickup's Monday, and then thought maybe because of the holiday it's all screwed up because of the fourth weekend. Nope, we're going on a week. My restaurant, they're not picking up trash there either. That's concerning. Yeah, yikes. So now we're looking at, like, I guess they're setting up disposal sites that we're supposed to take our trash to. I don't know. They need to get their shit together. So yeah, it is a mess.
Yeah.
Some good California stuff for you, I guess. I don't know, whatever. Government everywhere is fun sometimes. Okay. Yeah, cool. I'm trying to think of what I did this week. Wasn't much. A lot of work. I've been listening to a lot of music. I now I'm signed up to 3 music services. I was listening to some old school hardcore rap this afternoon, and NWA and stuff. It was kind of fun. I don't know.
So you ran out of Kendrick to listen to?
There was only so much till my repeat got a little nuts, and then Wally was posting Tupac in the Discord this morning, and it had me fired up. So I was just listening to all the rap beefs out there and shit. I don't know. Nice. It gets me through the day when work is annoying. So yeah. That's fair. All right. Cool. Well, we'll move on. Oh, Ryan Cohn tweeted, y'all. Ryan Cohn tweeted. Yeah. Yeah. What? So we'll just say that right out the bat. Yeah. Okay.
Including tonight.
Yeah. So he said Bitcoin is at 119,000. So,
which I did the math on that too, and because like he pointed out like in his tweet he said 119K, right? And the stapler auction was at 249,900. Probably still is. It hasn't moved in like a day.
Yeah, that thing's crazy.
Yeah, and we'll get into that too.
Yeah,
because we're selling a stapler for charity and underwear.
Yeah,
but if you divide the stapler's current bid by 119,000, you get exactly 2.1, which is just, like the number 21 is significant in the Bitcoin community. So I just want to point that out.
Oh yeah, I get you.
Like a lot of people have been critical over Ancon and his Bitcoin strategy, and his tweet tonight not only called out Bitcoin specifically and its price being at 119,000, but like a subtle coincidence like that, when the number 21 pops up like that, and all of his other tweets this week have been about the stapler. So I just, it's not that much of a leap to say, if I take the stapler price right now and divide it by the price of Bitcoin and I get exactly 2.1, I just want to caution people who are critical of his Bitcoin strategy. If you think he's not paying attention, then I think you got another thing coming.
Yeah. You said this before, like right when it came through. You think that he might be just telling us that he's paying attention. He knows that all the criticisms he's getting. And I said at the top of the show, I guess I don't know if we'll probably get back into it. I don't know, because I definitely want to talk about like the fumbling of the Bitcoin. Oh, quickly though, we have a contest, you guys. Yeah, we have a contest.
Yeah.
Let me get. So it's a $50 gift card, GameStop, of course, gift card on the line, provided by the secret community member. The contest is, you need to guess the voice, who is the voice of this community member. Reply to the show post that I make under the Echo Chamber account. So you'll see it's the one I post for the whole. We all will be quote tweeting that and stuff. Reply to that post with who the community member is, and you will win. Well, you'll probably have to go into a drawing because we'll have to pick through.
Yeah, it'll be
anyway.
a drawing.
So I got a couple. Let's see how. All right.
Fuck, hun.
All right. So
fuck, hun.
That is our secret community member.
Fuck you, hun.
All right, and they're provided.
The clue was fumbling Bitcoin.
Yeah. Okay. So we know.
Fuck him.
All right. So reply to the show post with who you think that might be, and you have a chance at winning a $50 gift card. I have a few more hints, I guess we can say. I'll use later on in this show. So good luck to everybody.
Maybe RC tweeted about posted about Bitcoin's price, and it's kind of a dig at Bitcoin, like, catch up to my stapler, bro. Like, it sounds like the CEO of Bitcoin fumbled things. They can't even get
Bitcoin's got some work to do.
They can't even get their price up to the the GameStop stapler.
Can't even catch a stapler.
Oh man, that thing was masterful. Okay, we'll get to the StapleGate. He handled that thing so quick. But let's go. We'll go to the chart real fast because I don't have a ton on the chart right now. GameStop is up 0.69%, and after our trading, we are recording on.
Really? Yeah. That's funny.
We're recording. Of 16 cents. We were recording at it's almost 5:58. So sorry. 8:58 on the East Coast. The tweet came out. GameStop sold off pretty quick, not like a lot at all. I think it was probably said like just a few thousand shares, but the initial reaction to that tweet was, not good. But, for the week, it was, I don't know. I think it was, let me pull it up real quick. I want to pull the volume up. On the week, the volume was 52 million. It was actually up from the week prior, holiday week, of 30 million. And then the week before that, 54 million. You know, it wasn't terrible. We had, you know, I think one day we did like 5 or 6 million in there. But we were, you know, about 10 million a day. I kind of feel like that's like our new, like low volume. You know, everyone's talking about low volume this last week because we were doing, you know, 5 and 10 million, between 5 and 10 million trades. But like, you know, we've all seen the 2 million share days. And yeah, so this isn't low volume, but I guess, you know, it's kind of nice that for our current situation, trading $10 million, 10 million shares feels low volume. The week started off, you know, with a big sell off. I think we were down about 4% on, I have it here. So we were down 4.1% on Monday, flat on Tuesday, up about 2% on Wednesday, flat Thursday, up 1% on Friday. Volume a little all over the place. It was a big sell-off Monday. Left us with a gap, a gore. No, I'm joking.
Actually,
yeah. Left us with a gap, and you're, you know, that's kind of like, seems that that's the shit they do with the algo. They'll gap us up, and then, you know, Monday, and then sell us off. They'll do that at the intraday too, gap you down, and then, you know, you'll climb all day until you fill the gap, and then you fucking sell off again. It's kind of one version or other. It seemed to be how it went last week. We sold off initially on Monday, you know, flat Tuesday, and then things kind of turned around Wednesday at 12:15 midday, right at lunchtime. We got a fat 1.97 million share 5-minute candle. You know, that was the excitement for the day, but that's the kind of thing that tells me that something's going on, and that's a positive for us. You know, traded flat Thursday, but then Friday we opened with some pretty massive volume. So, you know, nice open, flag out the rest of the day. That's kind of how we ended the week. I don't know. I felt pretty good about it, especially after the initial sell off. It's interesting. Bitcoin was running so hard the whole week, and you know, we're not seeming to get any of that action. We'll talk about Bitcoin in a second, but I don't know, Paulie, do you have anything with the chart? I'll talk about, you know, the gaps that we have in just a moment. But how, you got anything with the chart?
Sure. So what I would consider us to be in right now is just really the very upper edge of the ultra deep value territory. So I have a line on my chart for what I call the ultra deep value territory line, which is really just, I took it from the very bottom of 2020, that low of the year, drew it through the low of the year in 2024, and that is the trend line. Okay. So GameStop has only intersected that line a handful of times, and it has been on now officially March 30th of 2020. Sorry, that's on the weekly chart. So
You want to try to share your screen?
yeah, actually, let's do that.
Let's do that. So we're trying some things.
Now Riverside will do that. So let me just share my trading view window, and we may actually be able to release a video.
Yeah, thinking about it. It should be good.
Yeah.
Look at that. I can see.
There we go. So yeah, you should be able to see this time. So I can go ahead and take away we don't need the boxes.
Paulie's hiding his tab right now for anyone not.
No, I just don't want to make it a little too busy. So
yeah,
don't need all those VWAPs or anything on there just yet. And okay, so all we've got on here now is the what I call the red headband and these major support and resistance lines, and I'll put them on there with text on. So cool. Yeah. So one thing I had mentioned last week was this one here, the 2007 all-time high. That was the all-time high that we had set before the one in 2021. That
1594.
Yeah, and then that turned into a double top, and then we got a resistance line from that, and then didn't end up coming back to retest it after 2008 until again in 2011, like middle of the year. So yeah,
like 975.
Right. Yeah. Or actually,
I'm gonna narrate for you, Paulie. You're good.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw in some visual stuff there. Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, that was more like 675.
Oh
so,
shit! Yeah, I did terrible at my job already.
That's all right.
I can.
That's all right. Yeah. So
let me zoom in.
Yeah. So it came back and kind of tested that line, moved up and over it, back underneath it again, kind of like, this beach ball underwater analogy that we like to use. And then you can kind of see right here in 2012, right around end of August, early September, you get this gap. And that gap occurs right as it comes back to that line. And there's also another gap back here where it met that line again and it gapped under it. So we've talked about island reversals before too. So this was an island reversal in our favor all the way back in 2012. So, just something to keep in mind, because that was a big time, resistance to overcome back then. And, not really at big prices. Cause even split adjusted, we're only talking about like what, $12 back then. So
yeah,
2012 $15. Yeah.
After that too, it just ran hard.
Yeah. And then 2013 even, was even more nuts. Right.
Yeah.
And all things considered, almost set a new all-time high in 2013, but not quite. And then it went back down and it went and set another new low. So, does that sound kind of familiar?
Yeah, it ate shit all the way until 2020.
So this whole pattern, is very reminiscent for anyone who's been in this since 2001.
2023.
Right? Yeah. So like all of this should look very familiar to you. It just probably took less time. So, this was a pattern that took 11 years to play out, but it looks very similar. Just, the shape is not necessarily exactly the same, but the overall structure is very similar. So the reason I focus on it
looks just like, I was just going to say, it looks like the sell-off from about October 2022 through April 2024. That shitty, terrible, that's what that looked like, but stretched out.
Yeah. And so the reason I focus on it is because that same trend line that I had drawn from that first all-time high got back tested as support here in August of 2019. And then there was a major volume response to create this rounding formation. And then it came and back tested it again. And then that's when we see this bull flag form in April of 2020. And then this is another, shape that we're all familiar with. And then, this is kind of right around the same time that, we know like Michael Burry was getting involved. And then, I think, Ryan Cohen was probably buying somewhere around here, but we don't necessarily know his cost basis on these because we didn't get an actual filing until here in August of 2020. This gap right here in late August 2020 is when we got his first filing. So we only got cost basis on any purchases in the previous, I think, 60 days before that.
Oh my God! They killed Kenny! You bastard!
Well, hey!
He's back.
He's back. All right, they got Paulie. he's back with us. I think that's two cyber attacks by Kenny in the last 2 weeks. So we're not going to let it happen again. But all right, Paulie was about to tell us about the double bottom in April 2020. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, so we got this what I call the ultra deep value trend line got formed in 2020 when it hit this low, and then it came back and retested it a few days later, and then it closed actually below that line, and then closed above it the next day, and then bounced strong off of it. So that's what I consider to be significant at that point. Then we have couple of other things to focus on, and we'll come back to that line later. But then obviously we get another resistance line that gets formed here off of the significant. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so we're at May 2024 now, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So this becomes the intraday high of May. The actual high of May was $80, but that was pre-market on May 14th. So because I'm on the daily chart, this is ignoring any extended hours action. So this one becomes a resistance line until later. And then I also have my red headband lines here. So I've got a little mini ray here from June 2nd to June 13th at 21.27 for Roaring Kitty's cost basis on 5 million shares there. Yep. And then I've got a line at 23.41 from June 13th on to show his cost basis from that point on, just because that's his last known cost basis.
Yeah.
Then also on the low after the May peak, I have a line from there to show support after the May pop that I will show got perfectly back tested by both convertible bonds. So
yeah,
that is encouraging to see. So that's this green line here. So we'll move forward. So I'll go ahead and reset my vertical axis here. So just kind of go through here. So this resistance line from the May pop goes through. I did originally have it going through the close on the double top here, but I decided to go ahead and bring it back through the high on December 26th. It ends up being almost the exact same line either way. So it's just a preference thing. So that's where we get this resistance line established with a second point. And then you'll notice that we got a gap in March on that Bitcoin announcement, right? That we were adopting Bitcoin as a treasure. We were all flying high, right?
Oh man.
And
that call was fun.
Man, we thought we were going to the moon. And we gapped above that resistance line. Also, I think we were above the daily Bollinger Bands and should have taken a huge hint. And then the convertible bond got announced. And I think that was just a really savvy move by Ryan Cohen that he knew it was going to get slammed down the next day. And he took advantage of that. So here we are. We get the next convertible bond, or the first convertible bond. That's Project Rocket. And take a look at what happens. Remember, this solid green line here was based on the support from the low of May after the peak.
Yeah.
So that was just the low point after the peak. And so this is where the low after the convertible bond was. And then we come back and retest it on the double bottom after Ryan Cohen's purchase. So on the Friday, May 4th. And then remember, this is the day that like the entire market was just bleeding red, and GameStop ran 11% that day.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. So it was volatile that day, and we got Ryan Cohen's 13D on the 3rd, and then it still had a significant dip to come and retest this line before shooting up 11%. So kind of an interesting thing. And then it comes up, shoots through that resistance line, did not really gap through it. It actually just kind of ran through it. And then we get all the way up here, and we all remember what happened with the Bitcoin announcement. We get this. We get all the way up here. We're flying high thinking, oh man, this is so great. And we didn't take the hint. Again, outside the daily Bollinger Bands. And then announced 4710 Bitcoin.
Maybe that is the hint.
It really should be, and I don't have Bollinger Bands on this particular chart, but daily Bollinger Bands are supposed to be a big hint on bullish or bearish signals, and when you are outside the daily Bollinger Bands, it is considered a major signal, and I need to get better about paying attention to that, because this should have been a really good profit taking point, especially if you're playing options. I'm talking to myself more than anybody here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I made good money on that Bitcoin run. But
you and me both.
But should have kept more.
And then I did not take. And then I did not take what I should have right here. Right. So
exactly.
And then we get to here, and we get another convertible bond offering, and then what happens?
Bounced right off the trend line again.
Exactly, but this is an important convergence of several different things,
it sure is.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna make these lines thicker just to make it easier to see, because I know I'm on like kind of a dark mode screen here, and it may be difficult for people to see. But you've got the dashed line is the ultra deep value trend line. The solid line is the May low after the peak. The white line is the May peak going through the December peak, and we crossed through all of those on the Project We pricing day. That doesn't feel like much of a coincidence, okay? That is really just like a really nice confluence of data just all coming together at once. And then we come back, make this nice little rounding formation. This is an effective double bottom when you take the time factor into it.
Yeah, and it also could be at least a double bottom. It challenged that price on, I'm looking here, the 23rd and bounced. Yes. So now it's almost a triple bottom at this point. I could argue that. So hopefully that's all we need.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, this 2250 level became a multiple, like what, double, triple, quadruple, quintuple bottom essentially for that particular level. But in terms of testing the ultra deep value trend line, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 days that it got tested. And generally speaking, if you test one level 4 times and don't break through it, that is an extremely strong signal that you're going to bounce off of it instead of break through it. So, just kind of a rule of fours, generally speaking, like there's nothing that says that you're absolutely never going to break through it. But if you try the same thing 4 times and you don't go through it, you're more likely going to bounce strongly off of it than you are going to make a 5th attempt at it right away. So that's just kind of, generally speaking, what's going on there.
So YOLO is what you're saying. No, I'm playing. I'm joking.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just kind of what I'm seeing here. I feel like those sorts of things from a macro perspective are all really worth taking an extended look at, because I mean, history has shown us time and time again that it will repeat itself. And when I throw a bunch of different VWAPs on here as well, that's when, I mean, we start to really see some interesting things in terms of where the price will just respect different levels. So we don't necessarily have to get into a discussion today on what those VWAPs are, but you will see as the price moves back and forth that, I've got VWAPs on the chart here, and look at where price gets rejected and supported. So, that's just kind of maybe a topic for another day, or even a more lengthy dedicated video of its own. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing.
Thanks for that, Paulie. I think an extended video might be something good too. It'd be really cool to have your chart broken down and posted. But we got a lot to get to with like Bitcoin. But I know, Swami, you had some. You were talking about the chart a little bit before. Did you have anything that you were seeing with the chart?
Yeah, yeah. I can share my screen real quick if we want.
Let's do it.
Where's the
Go for it.
button to do that though?
So it's if you're in the browser, hopefully it's a similar interface, but on mine, it's between your sound button and the leave button, and it's just a little rectangle with an up arrow that says share.
We'll be pros at this thing eventually.
Hopefully,
you guys.
Yeah. Here's one of the cards I pulled today, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah. Actually, this is one that my wife pulled.
All right, I see you, Swami.
Yeah, we can see it. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, Paulie has this line, but I am not.
Yeah, you've got a couple of them.
Yeah. I like to. I can't keep track of all the VWAPs and stuff. I wait for. I rely on Paulie for that information, but I like to
Me
look
too.
at. I like to look at just like real simple stuff, and to me, this is as simple as it gets. Right? As I just drew some trend lines from the all-time low, which is like that one on the far left, and then like kind of where it started to take off in 2020, and just connected it to the low since the squeeze or the sneeze in April of 2024, because that's where it popped off. So to me, like that's a trend line that's worth noting. And you know, it's taken over a year, but like that trend line is starting to get higher. And what I saw this week was that trend line being respected. I'll just like, so you can see here, this is when right before Kitty came back, then the squeeze, and now we're right here. So if I go to like the daily, you can see that as soon as it hit this trend line right here.
Yep.
Now it doesn't look as impressive on the daily, but you know, that's where that like 1.5 million order just like popped out of nowhere, and it went straight on Wednesday. It went straight up like $1.50, and it hasn't come back down. But if you look at this trend line, it's basically going up 5 cents every single day, and it's right above the current cash per share, cash in Bitcoin per share. So, you know, especially if they do another bond offering, this line's going to go potentially like much higher. So like, you know, 23, 24, 25.
The cash per share. If they do 5 billion, it'll raise the cash per share to $30. So like it's basically
like nuts.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, that would cause like major problems for anybody.
I would hope.
Yeah, I think it would. Like anybody who needs it under 30, that's going to be a big problem for them.
Yeah.
But you know, just like what's going to happen between now and like September earnings, I'm really interested to see, because you know, it's been a very different reaction this time after the bonds. Like this is the first bond, this is when they hedged, and then it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and then on the 6th it double bottomed and then shot right up, and then you know, it went up to 25 in just 4 days. This time, it's to me like in a suppression cycle, probably related to swaps. And you can see it's being held underwater, that beach ball analogy, you know, under 24.50. So I'm like, this is pressure building right here, right? Like the stock does not want to be down here. It does not, you know, the algos do not want it to go under this trend line. And even if it gets pushed under there, then you run into this, you know, cash per share line at 2035. And don't get me wrong, like if you have enough capital and you're in a position where you need GameStop to be under these lines for a short amount of time, you can make it happen. You just can't. You flood the order book with short selling, buying puts, etc. But it's the most dangerous game you can play, because all the other forces at play here are going to shoot it right back up. And
sure,
I'm really interested to see like what is going to happen between now and September earnings right here, where this trend line at September earnings is $25. And, maybe they just suppress it. Maybe it's suppressed to 25. It never has this big melt up it had back here. And then GameStop does like another bond offering, but it's the starting point price is 25. Well, we've seen both times there's been a huge push down. This was like $20 or $8 right here, $10 here, that it got pushed down when the hedging occurs.
We got smoked.
But what's going to happen if it's 25 and they have to hedge the bond? It's going to push it below.
Right.
And then what happens after that? I'm excited to see what happens after that, because I think if it got pushed down to like, $20 or something, 21, maybe it respects that 21.55, RC buy line, and it just sticks there the entire day.
That'd be crazy.
It's going to be an explosive move upwards from there. Or, maybe this suppression cycle is going to end fairly soon and the pressure is going to be released and it'll go up, prior to earnings. We'll see. Either way, I know, I see on X, like, people are like frustrated and tired and like this price action sucks and stuff. But like the way I look at it is like this period is kind of like what's necessary for bigger moves to happen more quickly. So like just chill out. Sometimes the stock does nothing. But the longer it does nothing, I think there's a bigger move when it does happen, and you can profit off of that short term.
Yeah, for sure.
And I guess kind of one thing I would add is that the thing I was talking about with like the time value with respect to the resistance lines is that ultra deep value trend line, by the time we get to mid-September, which is about when I would expect to get our second quarter earnings call, is going to be about the $25 to $26 range.
Yep.
So, that is about where I would expect to see our cash per share should come up to try to meet that line somewhere around that time.
Huh.
It should try to track that line more or less is what I think Ryan Cohen is trying to achieve here. So
consistent pressure.
He's doing a pretty good job tracking it so far. If the cash per share can get above that line and stay above it and really keep challenging it, then I think that's a good spot to be in. I guess I would also say that in terms of where that deep value trend line intersects with Roaring Kitty's cost basis is it's like around the Friday after this coming next one. So it's the Friday after the monthly expiration. So
all right,
something to watch for, I guess.
Yeah, what I wanted to talk about with the chart and the rest of the week. So our gap, our high of last week got to our high into the bond gap is 2450. So that's the line I'll be watching. I want to see how we react to all this shit going on with Bitcoin. Who knows what Ryan Cohen did, but we can get through the resistance right around 2425, but 2450, I want to see how we react there, because the next stop is probably going to be around 25 and the gap that was created back in April. If we can get through that, I mean, we could really, really get going. But I think we say this all the time. We got to hit these levels with volume, or we're gonna reject off of it. And maybe we just keep hitting that pressure line. I want to come up with a name for the cash, because I think that's the line that we're gonna hold. Can you imagine if he did an offering, right? We're at $25 and he does a $5 billion offering and they short us down to like say $15. So now the company has $30 cash per share at the end of that offering, and you can buy GameStop for, I guess, $15 under what it's actually worth. I think that's pretty.
I think you'd see Kitty come back. Just
I think
that.
So you guys remember how I went to school for nuclear engineering?
Yeah.
There's there's a term for when a nuclear reactor produces more neutrons in a generation than in the previous generation, and it's called supercritical. And when you have a nuclear bomb, it's just when it is supercritical at such a rate that it happens really, really fast. So like you can have a supercritical reactor without it being a bomb. I just want to make that clear. But
so you're saying GameStop's a bomb about to go off?
No, like that's essentially what would happen. Like I'm like what you just described is a supercritical situation, like where if GameStop's price were to somehow get so far below its net asset value, when you've got a net profitable operating business, you've got a profitable investment arm of the business, you've got sound leadership and management, you've got a board that is not compensated, and they buy shares with their own money. We assume Nat will do the same.
Yeah. Yes. Hopefully.
He's got time. He's not out of compliance with the policy. We're going to trust the process. You've got sound corporate governance by all rights across the board. And if the market still chooses to devalue it just in complete defiance of all the fundamentals of the business, then yes, it would be an absolutely supercritical reactor at that point.
Yeah, I think RC would. I mean, I know we don't have a ton of shares. I don't know. Buyback isn't my favorite thing to go about. I feel like I always criticize it when it gets brought up, but he would have to, I think, do something at that point. Like
he would have no choice.
Yeah,
at that point.
50%.
I mean, if it got $5 below his last at the market offering,
he'd have to, something, and
it'd be irresponsible not to.
Yeah, can you imagine the FUD? Do something.
I posted about that this weekend. Like the irony of like, and I didn't even go as crazy as like 15, but like, the irony of these scenarios is that like, I can just picture it now. I'm sure you guys can too. Like if it went under 20, like it would just be like doom and gloom. Everybody, X would just be like a wasteland of like complaining and blah, blah, blah. But like little do they know, but like that's like the ingredient for a squeeze, because what happens like when the price goes that low on something like this, where they literally have, more cash per share than the current share price, like that's like a green light for big money, not just retail, big money to just pile in on calls and buying shares. And when everybody does that at the same time, that's a squeeze, Yeah.
Because I think your average person's out there thinking like, oh well, that's the signal for roaring kitty. Well, yes, it is, but it's also the signal for Chase and Schwab and like everybody and their mother who has quarters under the couch is going to be looking to buy more GameStop at that point, because they would be stupid not to.
Yeah.
Like,
I think these bonds are like kind of getting, I don't know, they're pushing the envelope. We're starting to see things crack a little bit. So I'm really kind of interested in seeing what, I'm for it completely now. I think you said this last time. I've done a complete 180 on it now. I want a bond. I would be fired up if he did one right now, honestly. Like it would be ugly. It would be real ugly, but I mean, that would tell me like he's fucking.
It would be rough.
But he, if it filled quickly, the demand is still there, and there would be action immediately, I think, after that too. So.
Yep.
Well, the bonds essentially are, if you're going to put it in terms of Roaring Kitty's memes, they are the Game of Thrones, the Sept of Baelor meme.
Yeah.
And they are the barrels of green wildfire being loaded up beneath the Sept of Baelor.
Yep.
And so it's just a matter of time.
I think after all these years, he's found a way to put the pressure on them, and it's raising this cash floor. Like, I want to dig deeper. I think I might try to write something out about this, because I think it's maybe, he sees this as an opportunity to actually force the shorts to capitulate, because nothing has worked in the past. The results, we're arguing with people a lot lately, but we've had well over 15 runs of around 20% or more. We've had all kinds of, over the last 4 years, every quarter we get a run, and 99% of them have been stopped by people not named RC, by fucking an algo, including one where we ran to 80 and they stopped us in pre-market, no offering, to me.
Yeah.
I think RC sees that too. And I think he's realized at this point that coming out and telling everyone what he's going to do, or even announcing Bitcoin or anything we tell him, the result's going to end up the same. Like, name another company that announced Bitcoin and sold off 10% and then announced a profitable earnings, like a really nice profitable Q1 earnings, and sold off another 10%, and then raise another 5 billion cash or whatever. No, 2.25. And then dropped wherever the fuck we are. And then now, as our Bitcoin holdings are climbing significantly, we are seeing no reaction in the price at all. So I don't know how you could watch this chart. Anyone could watch this chart and see the things that have happened and have the result be the same every single time, and think just tell us what you're doing, RC. Like, that's going to solve anything. So, all right. So we can kind of move on into the Bitcoin. I mean, I don't know. We're kind of dancing around it a little bit. 119,000 right now, 100. I'm looking at it. It's, I guess the day just changed. So, if we bought our Bitcoin, well, we know we bought our Bitcoin between May 2nd and May 27th. The filing said between May 2nd and June 6th, but the Bitcoin announcement was the 27th, I believe, of May. So I don't have the chart right up here, but our cost basis could be anywhere between sub 90, right? Let me just pull this up while we're doing this.
I could tell you, because I actually have those dates marked on my chart.
Yeah, like,
so
the range, if you could, of those dates, please.
Yeah. So, or if you even want me to share my screen again, I can.
Sure.
Okay. Let's do that.
So I'm looking too while we're doing this. So May 2nd, there's a whole fucking long period where we could have been in there well under 100,000. I say well, but 93, at the start of May, around 93,000. There you go. To a high, I'd say in that window, there was a high on May 25th. It looks like at about 112,000. 111,980 was the high on May 22nd. Right around there.
If you look like at Bitcoin's chart, like they probably bought, if I had to guess, it's probably Tuesday, May 6th through Thursday, May 8th, because they bought almost 5,000 Bitcoin. That's a lot. That's a lot of Bitcoin now for the volume that is on like Coinbase. Like, you look at like May 6th, the volume was 6,000 on Coinbase. That's the biggest exchange. Like, GameStop, if they bought all in one day, would have taken up 2/3 of the volume. So probably not all in one day, but like, you can see those 3 days, May 6th, May 7th, and May 8th, was like straight up for Bitcoin.
Around about 10.5% on those days, 10.5%. For fucking a lot.
4,700 Bitcoin will do that if you're buying them in like a relatively short amount of time, because it's illiquid. Like, there's not a lot of Bitcoin you can buy now.
I think we lost Paulie for a second again. With us, Paulie?
Oh, I got scared Kenny. Oh, bastards.
Trying to remember where we were.
before Kenny G attacked me. And
it's twice.
Well, Swami was talking about how Coinbase is the largest exchange, and that if GameStop did get all their Bitcoin on like a single day, then that's, if it was all on exchange volume, then that's probably noticeable. So, and I would be inclined to agree. So I think probably the big question is their volume going to be shown as on exchange or not? So that's probably the big debate, I think. But I am inclined to agree with the notion that they probably bought near the end of the first quarter and the beginning of the second quarter. So we know from their earnings report that they bought between it would have been May the 4th, and
that's where we were.
Yeah, and their filing from the earnings report said June 10th, but realistically it would have had to have been before May 28th, because that's when we got the announcement.
Yeah, so we were trying to figure out what that cost average could have been, right? That's what we were looking at. So so
realistically, it's probably below 100,000.
That's my thought, right? So that would put GameStop up. I put him at 120,000, just to make it easy, right around 90 million, 95 million. If it's better, 100 million, that's in since May 2nd, we'll say, between, so we're looking at 2 months now. 2 months, the company has made almost $100 million on less than 5% or around 5% of their cash. I don't know the exact percent. So he didn't even, risk a whole bunch to get the results that we are seeing. People still want to say he's fumbling. Speaking of, let me just.
Fuck, hun.
Just, the contest, want to make sure everyone.
Hun.
All right. Or.
Fuck you, hun.
Oh, wow. That was a lot. Anyways, just in case you guys, that is our secret community member. And let us know on the post for the show who you think that is, and you might win $50 gift card to GameStop. All right. So, we still want to say that he fumbled, but we don't know a lot of information about the Bitcoin buy. So I don't know how we can look at $100 million profit at least. We don't know what happened after June 2nd, by the way. There's another dip in there under 100K where he very well could have bought. We got the tweet now that he could have bought. Yeah, we don't know the strategy when it comes to Bitcoin, when it comes to GameStop strategy. So there's a lot of information missing. And Swami, you had a really nice reply today about the whole Bitcoin situation. So I guess, I don't know. Did you want to kind of talk about that a little bit, or?
Yeah, I mean, you hit one of the points, right? Is that, I definitely understand why GameStop doesn't announce what they're doing ahead of time, but the downside to that is that people are left to fill in the blanks, right? it's open air space, right? So people just have to kind of come up with their own conclusions. But I think, and I'll admit it, I was disappointed that they didn't buy more in May, but I've come around on it because I am a little bit of a bear on the overall market, in the next 6 to 12 months, and I don't think Bitcoin, again, this is my opinion, is quite at the point where it's going to be operating or pricing asymmetrically to the market, or have inverse price action to the market when the market goes down. So if that's the case, if that's your assumption, that's mine, then we're kind of near the top, in my opinion. And why would you expend all your capital at a potential top, right? It may not be, but I think that the purchase size that they made was a good hedge in either direction. That if it's not the top, they bought, around $500 million worth of Bitcoin. And they are going to see like really good gains out of that if it's not the top. If we are getting close to the top, though, they have a bunch of downside protection, because although they will incur, the accounting based losses if Bitcoin, has a big, dip on a bear market, they're also sitting on, $8.5 billion worth of cash to then buy Bitcoin in a correction scenario. So it's a hedge. It's a hedge. They have exposure. It's significant exposure. Like in the grand scheme of things, what are they, like the 11th largest Bitcoin holding company at this point? And it's like a nominal position for them. So I'm fine with it. Like, the problem with, the Bitcoin treasury strategy is that everything's good until it isn't. And it's good right now because Bitcoin continues to go up, and that money to continue to raise is there because Bitcoin is still going up. But what's going to happen when Bitcoin eventually hits its bear market, because it always will. Every asset, everything out there has a bear market, right? Is that all those treasury companies are going to plummet in their stock price value with Bitcoin. And if they're, at a leveraged, premium to, a multiple to their NAV right now in a positive direction, it could be really nasty. So I don't want that to be GameStop. I don't think Ryan Cohen wants that to be GameStop, and his actions are telling me that they're not going to be a Bitcoin treasury company, at least based on what I've seen so far. Maybe he YOLOs when, Bitcoin hits its bear market and it's at like 60, 70K or whatever. And the all-time high is like 250. Okay, that's great. You're buying something that was 250 or was 150 and it's at 60K now. Okay. We'll see. Right. We'll see. But as of right now, I don't know if they are. I don't think they will be. So I'm happy actually with how it's going.
Yeah.
I understand like the other side of it. Like, and I was, replying to Mozart, who's been on the show. Great guy, huge GameStop and Bitcoin enthusiast, bull. His argument is not like invalid to me. And I think where he's coming from is like, he believes that if GameStop had YOLO'd into Bitcoin in April and May, that it could have like kicked off MOAS. It could have kicked off the short squeeze. And we don't know. Maybe that would have happened. Maybe it wouldn't have. But I understand that perspective. I think where I land is that RC has I think he's got a better handle on all those mechanics of like the shorts and stuff. And he probably just was, he does not believe that it would have kicked off, MOAS, or maybe he doesn't want that to happen.
No, I mean, we saw what happened. Yeah, no one knows, right? And that's kind of my point from earlier about but we do know that we've seen about 15 runs that were stuffed, and that's with like marketplace announcements, split announcements, whatever happened in August 22, March 20, all kinds of fucking shit, all kinds of announcements, by the way, too, that were stuffed. So yeah, It's tough. All right. Okay, well, I think we're gonna have to probably move off Bitcoin because we got a lot of other stuff to get into. Paulie, unless you had something else with Bitcoin before we moved on.
No, I think the Swami did a really good job articulating all that. I think I would just add that, Ryan Cohen has proven time and time again that he knows what he's doing. He did it with Chewy. He's done it with GameStop, on the operations side. I think, he's got a really good investment head on his shoulders. And I think that, as smart as all of us may be for our own investments and for our own personal strategies, I think that if you're going to invest in GameStop, then you have to have some degree of willingness to really just allow yourself to trust that Ryan Cohen is going to act in the best interest of shareholders. And remember too, that he is a shareholder at the end of the day. He is not compensated by the company for his services. He is not paid in shares. He is not paid in money. He is not paid in Bitcoin. He is only paid by appreciation of the stock if and when he ever sells the shares that he bought with his own money. So if you remember that, then I think it all just comes down to, do you trust that he's going to do the right thing? And if you do that, then it just is a matter of how long can you afford to wait for him to do that. So, you know, I trust him. I believe that, you know, I'm a pretty smart person, but I think that Ryan Cohen's probably smarter than I am. And he's probably got a team of people around him that are smarter than I am, and maybe even smarter than him. So, you know, I think that a lot of the best CEOs out there and a lot of the best teams are built up of people who have recognized that in order to succeed, you need to surround yourself with people who are smarter than yourself and let them do their jobs. And if I'm going to extend that analogy, if I am going to allow my investment capital to do what I want it to do, then I'm going to deploy it into things like GameStop and Bitcoin, and I'm going to let it do its job because I believe that those instruments are more effective than they would be if I put them into other things. And there may be other things that might give me a better short-term return, and that's fine, but I believe in the return long-term of those things. And so I just continue to dollar cost average into those things. And kind of what you're getting at, Swami, with the whole idea on, you know, the fact that there are cycles, there are bear markets, all those things, like that's all absolutely true. But the thing about Bitcoin and why Ryan Cohen's strategy is unique here is that Ryan Cohen probably understands the power law about as well as anybody. And that may very well be why he's not YOLOing in right now, because even though it is a bull market right now, if he doesn't keep dry powder for later, then he's not going to be able to come in and get either Bitcoin or Bitcoin leveraged assets at a discount later. And I mean, I think if people just reserve the right to change their mind later, as Roy and Katie might say, then they might be surprised at just how far GameStop might be able to go if you just let Ryan Cohen cook.
Yeah.
You hit the trump card on this stuff is always the amount of equity that RC has in the company. Like I did the math. So when shares topped at $37, you know, before the Bitcoin conference dump, and then, you know, they landed around $22. Ryan Cohen's net worth was reduced by over $500 million from that swing.
Right.
Wow.
And he probably didn't break a sweat, right?
And he was the guy that decided to do the bonds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So take that into consideration when you're criticizing him, right? Yeah. Yeah.
He's fine with the $500 million short-term paper loss.
Yeah. Yeah. And when he did that on the first bond, he dropped another $10 million on more GameStop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, cries for RC to do something as Bitcoin climbs and SPY rips to all-time highs, and we're continuing to be suppressed. You know, that's how the week started out. It was a terrible 4th of July week for all that last week. This week started out that way until Wednesday. And then everything flipped. We got that candle of 1 point something million shares. And then a little bit later in the day, which I think it's kind of interesting that we got that candle then too, but we got the StapleGate staple auction. It's GameStop StapleGate charity auction, Nintendo Switch 2 and the stapler. That was the initial auction that came out Wednesday. It also was a flurry of Ryan Cohen tweets that have come out since then as well. I love that shit. I love that shit about our company. They took the Switch 2 release was a big deal for us. And of course, the media loves to focus on any small amount of negativity. So, some person in, I think, the New York area stapled the receipts of a Switch 2 to the Switch 2 box on the release date. It happened to a couple of them, I believe. And, the mainstream media ran with that like crazy. Articles everywhere about how we're fucking everything up,
Right. And it was all isolated to one store in New York.
One store in New York. It was just, a little bit of whatever. So, that was all over though during the news. So it's, just another example of the type of manipulation we see, even little shit like that, but they're forcing a narrative on a big day for us. It was a big time of year for us too, right? That was that was right when we were about to get our announcement for Bitcoin too, I believe. So we get all those
right
nuggets. So Toast, I'm sure he had a role in this because I can see the impact he's had when it comes to our social media since he's been there. This is just Ryan Cohen taking something bad and turning it into a really cool troll, I think. So this stapler, right now it's being auctioned on eBay every day. He's up the ante, I guess you'll say, with items. So the first day it was just the staple. Actually, I guess later on in the day he offered his underwear. Is that right? I think same day, Wednesday.
Yeah. Same day, because it was already up to, let's see, it was already up to what, 13,000.
I'm looking at my tweets.
And he said if this gets to six figures, I will throw in my underwear, is what he said.
So at 38,000 around there, yeah, I see that too. He said that. So yeah, I mean, it flew right off the bat.
Yeah, it went from 13,000 to 100,000 in only 6 hours.
Yeah. So he threw his underwear in. It definitely met that hurdle. So then the next day, I believe, right? So Thursday, he threw in, if it gets to 7 figures, he will fly the winner to Miami, take him to McDonald's, for lunch. And I feel like there was something else in there too.
Hand deliver the underwear.
And hand deliver, personally deliver.
Yeah. So
his pre-owned underwear.
Yeah. Okay. And then Friday, right? Friday, he tweeted his underwear, like a sneak peek.
Yeah, sneak peek
of his underwear. Yeah, black.
Yeah, but he put a little
boxers.
sensor bar over the waistband where you would have seen like the brand name for what logo.
Yeah. So, and it comes with a signed like letter of certification from Ryan Cohen. Just cool shit. Like I would be cool.
Authenticity.
Yeah. I think Nat has been tagged in on it. I know I tagged him on like a banana pair of, but we want to see if them get graded. It's just
Nat said he would grade anything Ryan Cohen touches. That was great.
Yeah, that was.
He also said they're vault eligible. He replied to me. He said they're vault eligible.
And you might even get a key to the vault, right?
Nice. So currently it was a key to the vault. 249,000. I think 900 is what it was. I don't have it in front of me right now.
249.9.
It's been there now since Friday, I think. We're very close to it. I know there was a bid that put it there, and then that bid was withdrawn. Someone probably panicked after it sat there for a couple hours. They're like, "Oh shit, I might have to win this thing."
That was Lodo.
Yeah, Lodo. He's like, "I'm out." So yeah, that happened. It went down to like 249.6, but now it's back at 249.9. How many days are left, Paulie? What is it in?
You got 2 days, 14 hours left. It ends Wednesday at 12:51. So that's when they will take the stapler away.
Yeah, Paulie noticed it right away. We got another countdown, so that's cool. Right. I feel like
I hate to be that guy, but here comes another countdown from GameStop.
One of those countdowns printed, if I remember right, though, like the Doom one worked out from the retro
April 3rd, right?
Yeah, we talked about that on the show. So who knows? GameStop countdowns. You got to watch it. But I don't know. We still don't. We can just move on into 10 with this because do you guys have anything about we also got whatever's happening with Push Start Arcade. We had the Buck Moon that was the 10th, and we got a post from GameStop and Buck standing on 2 boxes, which were pushed. Oh, they're GameStop power boxes. They said 6+ sides guarantee, no D.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
6+ sides guarantee.
And then always up, by the way.
Always up.
New all-time high.
Yeah, 19,621. Almost there, just edging 120.
Yeah. I got a notification.
So we got that. So, I say countdown, and I'm going to just, would be pretty perfect timing to have whatever is going on with PSA come out at the end of whatever's going on with this auction. There's all kinds of tinfoil you can take around this auction. It stirred up a lot of conversation in the Discord around auction fees, right? Like maybe GameStop could use this to point out how big of a ripoff eBay is if they're trying to position themselves in that market in one way or another. That's kind of interesting. The big tinfoil with the auction is, well, I'll just say I would love for that to be Kitty, right? That'd be fucking so cool. If it turned out that he paid, it gets up to $1 million, and this is pure pie in the sky, tinfoil completely. But whoever ends up winning this is Kitty. That'd be great. He flies out to fucking Miami to eat McDonald's with RC, and then who knows what goes from there. I don't know. That would be a very nice
internet
thing.
Would break.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like we should address the McDonald's thing though, right? Because everyone goes immediately to the soft serve ice cream and the frog in the ice cream machine, right? And so there's a lot of intersections there. So back in when was the frog in the ice cream? That was
like 2021 early, I think.
Yeah, I think it was
January.
March. No, it's February 24th, 2021. So Ryan Cohen tweeted, it was 1:57 p.m. on February 24th, 2021. He tweeted just a frog emoji and a picture of a McDonald's soft serve ice cream cone. And that was during a Fedwire outage. So and so like that
I get it.
Yeah, that was relevant because there was an actual outage in the Fedwire system at the time. And so like it was seen as a symbolic message about how there's a frog in the ice cream machine, like there's something wrong with the money printer essentially. And
interesting.
Yeah.
There's another one about, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. And then this weekend on Friday, the Fedwire system switched over to a new ISO standard. And so starting tomorrow, there will now be a new, supposedly instantaneous messaging system for how wire transfers are supposed to be done. All of this is supposedly, has been tested and, it's all going to go off without a hitch. But, I would say that there is a non-zero probability that something is going to happen to where we may see issues arise from this. I don't know if it's necessarily going to happen immediately or if it may take some time before we start to see things roll downhill from this. But is Ryan Cohen, alluding back to the frog in the ice cream machine when he brings up McDonald's, suddenly just this last week? Maybe. Yeah. But also, maybe if we're not getting that dire with it, I would just like to draw your attention to exhibit number 2. And that would be his first board meeting for Chewy, which that was under fun facts on the Volition Capital page about Chewy. So that Volition Capital, for those who don't know, that's Larry Chang's venture capital firm that he's a co-founder at. Under fun facts for Chewy and Volition, number 1 is Chewy's first official board meeting included 2 slides, a lot of laughter, and a trip to McDonald's for soft serve.
Yeah, so that was the 10 back then. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like, I'm just like, you know what? Lunch at McDonald's sounds like a great time and place for someone to interview for a board seat at GameStop. Like,
hell yeah.
Just don't get anything but soft serve ice cream and, you know, if someone is interested in a board seat for the company, then winning this auction is a great way to call your shot. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah. So I want to, so that Fedwire thing, I just real quick, cause I asked it somewhere else a little bit ago, cause I knew something had happened previously when that went down. February 24th, 2021 is a crazy day in our history. That was the day we ran like nuts in like Power Hour, like absolutely insane. That was when I went from being the most like, what did I do? You know, buying get 323 on January 29th or whatever, and then still buying the whole way down. And you know, GameStop's trading at like fucking $10 or some shit. Let me see, what was that low? It was like, yeah, like $10, right around where it bounced with Kitty when he came back. And then, you know, whatever was going on with the Fedwire, I just know I was at work and I came back and looked right towards the end of lunch and we were fucking ripping and everything changed in my head then. So,
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so his tweet was right before that rip too, but it was in the middle of that Fedwire outage. So, you know, just kind of an interesting piece of context to all that. So, you know,
nice. Yeah, that is.
I think his tweet was maybe like less than half an hour before, or maybe about half an hour before everything started ripping. So, just, you know, a lot of interesting coincidences there, right?
Yeah.
In that vein, I was just thinking about something. So, like, I think where that could have caused issues, and you know, maybe it won't this time, is that there's like a period of time where like the market is somewhat illiquid / like cash is not available, or I think it has to do with like margin requirements, and maybe somebody very big got margin called because they did not, they might have been told like, you need to increase your margin, and they could not get the funds, or they could not, post other positions, and they get margin called. Like, there is a lot of manipulation that occurs with GameStop, but like there are, when it's two big players against each other, that's when the rules do get enforced. And if you're getting margin called by Goldman Sachs or some prime broker, like, you need to pay up. And like, I was reading the GameStop, the transcript from the report rather for GameStop in 2021 that Congress published. And the issue with Robinhood had to do with margin. They needed to post a huge amount of collateral that they did not have. And the funny thing is that Vlad Tenev, or one of the people at Robinhood, referred to the DTC's margin calculation as a black box.
Yeah.
And like, there's a lot of stuff about black boxes this past week, boxes disappearing on Kitty's chart. So I don't know. Like, the issue with Robinhood and the buy button was margin related. They got margin called, and that was bad, right? Because they turned off the buy button. But the Fedwire thing in 2021, that could have been a margin call as well, and somebody just had to start buying shares because they did not have the margin to sustain their short position or whatever it is. So we'll see this week.
That got me hyped up for tomorrow. I forgot. I knew something had happened. I didn't realize something like that had happened last time. So this isn't, supposedly they're fixing things, right? But whatever. I've seen
all been tested. Shit. Nothing to see here.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's see. Tinfoil wise, I just, July is where RC likes to tweet 7 times during the month. We got a flurry in 2024 that put us to 7 minus his replies to Greg. I remove everything Greg related in my life completely. No, I'm joking. It didn't happen in 2023, but 2022 and 2021, 7 tweets. It's where the 741 countdown started in 2021. August was 4, September was 1. What does it mean? I don't know. I put a post up about it. I I don't know, just interesting. And then as soon as we started talking about it and thinking about it, we got like 4 tweets. Now today was the 4th tweet. So I don't know, 7th month, who knows? All kinds of 7s and kitty shit too.
And then just to kind of add to what you were saying about Power Hour on that day in February, Fitzy, I just went back to the 30-minute chart and just to kind of reinforce that. So in the 30-minute candles on that day, I'll just give you the percentage rise from the 2 p.m. to the end of the day. So 2 p.m. that half hour was 0.5% rise. So that was for the half hour after Ryan Cohen tweeted. Then the 2:30 candle was 5.45%. The 3 p.m. candle was 18.94%. The 3:30 candle was 47.1%.
Huh. Yeah. Perfect. 47.1, huh? That was insane, bro. That was insane. I wasn't trading options then. I would have been over the moon. That led to like Mario Day. That led to all kinds of crazy shit. We ran hard after that.
Yeah.
Very hard.
It went up 88.1% from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. that day. It's just nuts.
Yeah. It was nuts. It was fucking crazy. The shit we've seen, man, it's nuts. It ran over 600% in the next, like, until Mario Day. So between the end of February and March 10th, it had a 600% plus run that was kicked off with that ice cream. Interesting stuff. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, wild. So let's see. I guess I'll give a quick little bit of announcements. I wanted to say thank you to New Snake for boosting the server. I appreciate all of the Discord server boosters. It allows us to have a lot of the awesome emojis and stickers that we have. We were getting low on our sticker and emoji space, so you got to have it. We added RC's underwear pirate flag as one recently. We have the best emoji team in Discord, and that his name is GME but Stallion. Yeah. So thanks for boosting the service, Snake. It allows audio quality and stuff to get better too. So good job there. I want to welcome REO853 and Rock Dov to the servers as well. Feel free to come say hi. I don't think you guys have come in and said what's up. I know they listen though. And then I added a clips channel to anyone in the server. Just if you have any media that you think would be good for this show, that's same for anyone on X. Feel free to send it to me. Send me a message. Let me know. But if you're in the Discord, drop it in that game clip or that pod clips channel. And if it's good, I'll put it on the show. I think we've gotten some good feedback when it comes to all of that. Paulie, did you have anything you wanted to add here?
You want me to get into the stuff about the memes and the library we're doing, or save that for later?
So do you want to do that tomorrow?
Yeah, I guess we could do that tomorrow. That's fine.
Well, hopefully we'll do that tomorrow. Do you want to do it here, and then we can at least get it in this show if we struggle making it tomorrow? It's already kind of late. It's like 7:40.
We'll just get it. Right. We'll just get it later.
All right,
that's fine.
Cool.
All right, live.
Fuck it. Let's do it live. Swami, do you have anything you wanted to add here before we head out for the night?
No. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. The more negative X gets, the more bullish I get.
It only makes you stronger. I say that, but I think after about like a week of it, it really starts to get draining. But then I troll myself, I think, and then make it even worse. I don't know. We just need some underwear to be sold by our chairman. I fucking love that shit, you guys. Like, that's so cool. By the way, it changed the tone completely. At least in the Discord, we went from whatever was going on, arguing about gaps and dumb shit, to just ecstatic. So all right, cool. All right, well, thanks for coming, Swami. Hopefully we can get this together tomorrow and get this knocked out. Let me play the sounder one more time. Don't forget, you guys, guess the GameStop community member to win $50.
Fuck you, Han. Fuck Han.
All right.
Could be
All right.
anybody.
Anybody. I don't know who it could be. I do know, but you guys, good luck on all that. So, okay.
It's roaring.
All right. Thanks for coming out tonight, guys. Thanks, Paulie, for joining us. Thank you, Swami.
Thank you, Swami.
Thank you. We'll do this again soon.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks, everyone. Bye. Yeah.
See you guys.
All right. Don't hang up. Let me end. Stop.
Interesting. I don't love the chart on Bitcoin right now. Just like the kind of like intraday. It's like a failed breakout. It looks like right now. I mean, it could go, but
it's a little tricky, right? Like it gives me like this. It gives me this vibe that like it does want to break out and head towards like 145.
Yeah.
But not right now.
Yeah.
You know, like I think it's due for a pullback, mostly because it's the weekend, and you've got everyone who was hedged in one way or another is going to is going to be doing something to adjust their positions as soon as the market opens, because not everyone is trading perps, and you've got people who are in options based positions, and they can't adjust anything until 9:30 tomorrow morning. And so I would expect some volatility in the price leading up to that, and then probably right after that as well. But yeah, I mean,
you're talking about
the
new law?
No, just Bitcoin in general right now. I think it does want to go higher, but is it going to necessarily break out like today? Like it doesn't necessarily feel like it's primed right now. And I think we often see this, especially on weekend action, where like it gets a little bit restrained, and it's a lot of times it's because you have market makers who want to get positioned for Monday morning.
Yeah. It's right, and it's right like at the top of the Bollinger Band on the daily, but the bottom of the Bollinger Bands is actually starting to open a little bit again.